Welcome, let's jump right in. This is first grade, my father's world curriculum, and it is called Learning God's Story, the complete first grade curriculum. So let's take a look at, I already opened and unpackaged everything, most things, for the exception of one, but let's go ahead and take a look. So this is the student workbook, and like for example, I believe for day one it says to work on pages 1 and 2, so this would be page 1, and then this is page 2. So I love the simplicity of it. Up here in the right corner it'll say week 1 Monday, week 1 Tuesday, week 1 Wednesday, week 1 Thursday, and then for Fridays it's usually some other I know for sure I think it's science, walking outdoors, so it's some other things, but I like that and appreciate that at the top right corner. And as you can tell, it's not too complicated, so I love this. This is a student workbook. These are the student sheets. These do come loose. And so what you'll find here, some introduction of what to do with your 100s chart, your coin cup, your bean cup. So for that, I took these out. The reason I took them out is because you're supposed to cut them out. You can color them if you want. And this is going to be displayed on your wall. So I'm going to probably cut them out as we go through the lessons. And it's A through Z. And so I'm going to kind of make like a timeline. That's what I'm thinking. And then I'm going to display these, the 100s chart and the Beyond 100 chart. It is hardstock paper, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up laminating them. So I took that out of the student sheets. And that's basically what you'll see here in the student sheets. You'll see what they're going to be using as the lessons go on. And here is a timeline, something else that you want to display. Timeline. So this, you can color them, laminate them. It is cardstock paper. So that's going to be fun. I'm not going to do that just yet until we get there. So at the beginning, it's mostly stories, cutting, gluing, and it's filled with a lot of stuff. If I try to show you everything, that's going to take a while. But let me show you some things. Well, here's a Jewish calendar, expanded form cards, number of the day is going to be a daily math activity that is to be done. And so we haven't started the curriculum yet. I'm just looking, this is brand new to myself as well. So in the teacher manual, it'll tell you specifically what you're going to be looking at. Let me go ahead and skip some here. This one's cool. It's a reading chart with the vowels. This is something cool to have a display as well. Let me see here. I had shown you previously the timeline. Animal tales, I guess you put the child's name. Oh, nice. List of the Old and the New Testament. I'm sure some game with memorization. I don't know. I haven't looked at all the week for the whole school year. So far, oh, nice. They even have a Greek alphabet. And I'm pretty sure these are writing composition type of things. And then right here we have the teacher's manual. So this is gonna be your Bible. This is what you can go ahead and read at the introduction and go one by one to see what you're gonna be, what's the focus of each subject. So that it'll take some time to read through that. And this is so cute. A note to fathers. So we encourage you to pray and discuss with your wife about how you might be involved with the lessons this year. And this whole message, this is a testimony from a parent. But this whole message, like, I immediately took a picture and sent it to my husband because I forget and I want to do everything. And I'm like, hey, I'm not alone. I have a partner to help me here. So typically, I added here the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but it won't, it's blank originally. So let's say for week 1, for Monday for Bible, you're gonna read what is history. And so here on the next page, it says here Monday, and you read what is history. Now you can read it from the book or you can just summarize in your own words, up to you. And then for Monday as well, we're gonna do an Apple video. That Apple video is found in my Father's World webpage with I think it's called the Wild Brothers. Kind of reminds me of the Wild Crap. Yeah, it's called the Wild Brothers right there. So it's a video that's for Bible history. For reading, you're gonna go through ABCs and scroll handwriting. Gonna practice on some handwriting. For math, you're gonna look at the calendar and the number of the day. You're gonna teach number words, and you're gonna look at your dimension math books. For activity, for science, you're gonna do things outdoors and read 2 pages. And for as a read aloud, the book that's included with this curriculum, Eric Carle's Animals, found on page 83. So that's a say, for example, for Monday and for Tuesday. So I think what I'm gonna do is just like probably on Sundays or Saturdays, I'll just kind of skim through the week and then just make sure I have that prepared. Or you can just go by day. So Sunday night, read for Monday. Monday night, read for Tuesday. Tuesday night, read for Wednesday. It is all up to you. So I like that this is the main thing. So week 1 notes. This is for parent teacher manual to read. Here it tells you about the Apple video, the workbook, and it even tells you, I guess, instructions to give your children. Starting dot. You're gonna slide. So which is starting dot. You're gonna slide down to the left. At the left to the bottom of the page, starting dot, slide down to the right, middle line straight across. Right, so we're gonna teach our kids how to do that. And then you're gonna begin your work page. And then your student sheet. And then it gives a little history of scrolls and how that was back then. Calendar, number of the day, teach number words. Dimensions math textbook, it'll tell you what pages to work on for science. It literally tells you what to do. Read the pages to your child and talk about the pictures. Explain and discuss. So for example, this one is, what did it say? I need to go back here. So for science, it says things outdoors, read page 16 and 17. So here's my science, things outdoors. You're gonna open it and you're gonna go to page 16, 17, and you're gonna read that to your child. And I like it because it correlates to what you're looking at that day, that week. So then you just read, close to the ground, look carefully under stones, inside flowers and between the grass. You're gonna find lots of creatures close to the ground. And that's how the manual carries on. This is week 2. And so this is basically what we're gonna be looking at throughout the week. The next thing, this manual is basically gonna guide you all throughout. So what is included in the first grade curriculum? Here's our little catalog. And so we have here for spiritual growth, learning to read and write, read alouds. Here we have art and music, math and science. And that's basically what's included. So let me just kind of skim through so you can see I set out everything on the table. I am missing the 1B home instructor's guide and the, what's the other one called? The textbook. But it's just in my other room. I'm using the same for 2 children. So that's why. All right. So it just gives you an overview of everything. So the teacher manual eventually will tell you, okay, go ahead and grab your Bible notebook and do page 1. So then here it says, God made the world. And I'm sure it has to do with drawing, differentiating. This is 1 sentence segments. Maybe in one lesson, it'll say, write 1 sentence. Draw a picture, write 1 sentence. Draw a picture, write 1 sentence. For a couple of times, eventually you move on to more. Let me show you the end. Almost half page. Yeah, so that's all this Bible notebook is. And I like it because it's hard at the back. So that's pretty cool to keep things straight and not bending and folding. This is the Bible reader. This is so cute. I was like, of course we have different Bibles, but this, obviously we don't have this. There's no other like it. So we'll go, it's literally the Bible. Old Testament gives a title, God Made the World, A Sad Day, Cain and Abel. And it includes Old and New Testament. So then it starts here to say Old Testament, and then we read, God made the world was dark, it had water, it had no life, but God was there. Let's see what's, okay, so here's the light and dark. And I'm sure it'll tell you like how much to read. So beginning with creation. So this is cool, and it carries out that black and white with some images. Let me show you some images. It carries that throughout this reader. Enjoying art together. So I was like, oh man, this looks hard. Just because I don't know, it just did to me, but it's not. Once I got going, this is basically all you do. Let's say, for example, this is the first time, I think art, this one begins halfway through the curriculum, so you don't do it on day one. But then some of the instructions that I remember is like, show the child the picture and explain how he thinks the horse is feeling. And in the back of these, so the children are going to be looking at this while we read here in the back. And it's called Art Card 1. And so you just read this. You talk about the picture, read some facts, information. And so this one, this booklet of Enjoying Art Together, it tells you just that, card by card. So then if I'm looking at this card, I'll simply look at this chunk of information and that's it. Then I wait for my teacher handbook, and then it'll eventually tell me, okay, now go to the next picture. It's as simple as that. It is art appreciation. So, all right, drawing with children, I think also, if I recall correctly, it starts midway. And it's, I can't remember, I think it was page 93, the first one. Yeah, so it's like Leo the lion. And so you'll read this information, but basically it's gonna teach you step by step on how to draw the lion. This is what you'll read to your child, but you're gonna be like the next Bob Ross. So then you'll just explain. And eventually keep adding, and there's your lion. And then eventually you'll go to something else. So drawing with children, that is what that's about. This one, I was a bit confused. I was like, okay. And so, it explains. As soon as you open it, there's this word from My Father's World, and you can read it, as I did. But it basically, this book, I was like, hey, what's the point? Basically, it gives you a list of books for ages 0 to 12. So my other child's curriculum, my third grader, it talked about a book basket, that you should have a book basket with related topics. And so, for example, I went to the table of contents, and then I found for ages, what did it say here? Picture book classics, ages 4 through 8. And so it'll give you a list. And so then I was like, Margaret Wise Brown. Hey, I know that one because of Goodnight Moon. And I don't think, is it here? Oh no, it wasn't the little kids. Because let me show you the table of contents. You see? Ages 0 to 3. That one's Goodnight Moon. But then ages 4 to 8 is different types of books. So the next thing we have is my big book of 5-minute devotions. Celebrating God's World. This one, I think it is from day 1. They do start using it. So it'll simply tell you what to read. So that's it for day one, animals on the farm, and so you read this devotional. And that's it. That's cool. Super, super cool. Easy peasy. So this next one is Eric Carle's Animals. And it is it's a good amount, good sized book. And I like that they're shiny glossy paper. So there are individual stories or poems in each page. And I believe in the first week, I can't recall what day, but it'll tell you to read one. Can't find it, there's so many, and I forgot the page number. But let's take, for example, on day one, it'll tell you, like, don't take my word for it, it's not day one, but it's in the first week. It says read page, what page is this? 67. So then you just read page 67 out loud. Read aloud. And that's it. So you're either going to read from this book or Tales from Cherry Lane. Let me see. So this one's more lengthier. So I'm assuming this is towards the end of the school year just because of its length. And then we'll get some introduction of the families found on Cherry Lane. For science, you have things outdoors, science with plants, science with water. So the curriculum begins with things outdoors, and it was about ants. Yeah, there you go. So then it'll just say, like, read page 16 and 17. And that's it. Eventually, once as the curriculum guides you, then it'll say maybe take out the science with plants and read pages 14 and 15. So then you just read about new plants from old. So I like all this color. I like the color of all these books. And then read page 4 and 5. Talk about floating. There you go. So it is simple as that. For your math, they include these Unifix cubes in the bundle. I wish I could just take them out because I already had some. So now I have 2 packs of the same thing from previous years that I bought in this. But maybe I'll sell it or maybe I'll keep it because I have multiple kids. So maybe they'll lose them. I don't know. And then it also comes with this clock. I tried standing it and it doesn't stand. And I was like, you know what? Maybe this is magnet. But I mean, I guess you're working on your paper and it's right next to you and you just turn it like that. I don't think you'd want it to stand. It is heavy here, but I think it's just, I was like, is it a magnet? What's that for? I have no idea. But it comes with this learning resources clock. For dimensions math, first grade, I believe, is 1A and 1B. So I do have, let me show you. This also has a home instructor's guide, and it'll tell you what to do week by week. So for example, let's go to week 1, and then it'll say the first day, it'll say do textbook, page 2 to 5, workbook, page 1 and 2, and the guide, page 7, and that's it. So you can either decide Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then it talks about a math test workbook. I did not buy that, and it didn't come with the guide, so I'm debating whether to buy it or not. I think it was $15 online, but I'm thinking, okay, there's already 3 books, then to add a 4th one for the test, that's kind of a lot. So basically they would complete, let me kind of show you. They would complete 1 lesson. So this is lesson 1. So it says think, how many? And so then you look at the little animals and you're like, how many? Okay, 1. All right, so we'll just do that. Obviously it starts off simple, cutting out through the half of the book. So they would have to complete this one and this one. And this one is typically 2 to 3 pages. And then after that, then they have to come over here. Then they have to work on more. That's the textbook. This is the workbook. So I would assume this is like classwork. And then this is extra practice or homework. And then this is the parent's guide. So then I thought, to buy a test. I think the tests are about once a week or every 2 weeks. I'm still debating whether to get it or not. So then with the purchase, I think there's a point system in my father's world, and I ended up with a lot of points because I bought different curriculum for different kids. Anyways, so I ended up getting this one and maple plank. So then I started looking at, oh, it does have activity cards. Okay. I started looking at like what can you do with this? So they're just basically pieces of blocks, and then you can just build. It's building. So I think there's a little book here, and that's where the activity cards. I'm not gonna open it because then I'm gonna have pieces of wood thrown everywhere, and I'd rather wait until I begin the school year. But yes, so all in all, here is our stack of for first grade. And so we're excited to start. If you watched this far, thanks for watching.